Welcome you all to my class on linguistics. In the previous class, I explained monophthongs, single vowel sound, and previously I had also explained consonant sounds. And when I explained consonant sounds, I also explained manner of articulation of consonant sounds and place of articulation of consonant sounds as well. In the previous class, as I said earlier, I explained monophthongs, single vowel sounds. And in today's class, I will explain a diphthong. And this class will be a bit shorter than the previous class. But it's my request to the students that linguistics, in case of linguistics, when you will attend these classes, I will request you to repeat the class twice, if possible, because and to keep the diagram, as I said in my previous class, to keep the diagram with you so that things become easier for you to understand. And in today's class, I will give a brief lecture on, the lecture is brief, but it doesn't mean that I will explain briefly. I will explain, but today's class will be shorter than the previous class. And I will continue teaching linguistics to the students of honors third year. And you know that there are other areas as well, apart from phonetics and phonology. There is sociolinguistics, there is psycholinguistics as well, there is syntax, and there is morphology. So there are different areas that we must learn before the exam. And all these, chapters are very important. So after completing phonetics and phonology, we will start those chapters as well. So let's go to diphthongs. So what does diphthong mean? I know that these classes are difficult to follow, but I hope that you will try to follow these classes because we don't know when the institutions will open. Diphthong is a sequence of two vowels or monophthongs where one glides into the other. So the first thing that you have to remember in diphthong that it's a sequence of two vowel sounds. Now, two vowel sounds will come, and you can also say monophthongs. I'm repeatedly telling you sounds. I'm not telling you vowels because there can be two vowels, but there can be a single sound. There can be a long monophthong. Even if there are two vowels. In case of vowel, I mean alphabets. So the alphabets are not more important. What is important? The sound, whether there are two vowel sounds or not, whether there is a single vowel sound or not. So when there is a single vowel sound that we learned in our previous class, it has to be termed as monophthong. That single vowel sound can be short, that can be long as well. So you must have learned by this time short vowel and long vowel. So that is a different issue. But if there is the pronunciation of double vowels, then we will say this is diphthong. One glides into the other. One glides into the other. That means there is a smooth movement of one vowel into another. I repeat, there is a smooth movement of one vowel into another. So that is also important, and that is called glides into the other. So when you will pronounce two vowel sounds together, definitely one vowel sound will dominate another. And that is exactly what has been discussed in the first line. More clearly, it consists of two vowel sounds or monophthongs. So a diphthong consists of two vowel sounds or monophthongs where one glides into another with a movement. And between these two vowel sounds, one glides into another. That means the movement of one vowel sound to another. And there must be a movement. The most important thing to remember about diphthongs is that the first part is much longer and stronger than the second part. So when there is a diphthong, I mean double vowel sounds being pronounced together, the first one dominates the second one. And that is why we are saying the first part is much longer and stronger than the second part. In English, there are 8 diphthongs. So, that you will get 8 diphthongs in English, and you have to remember these diphthongs. You should not forget these diphthongs. And I hope that you have kept the diagram with you, and it's better to draw the diagram. And if you can keep the diagram with you while attending these classes, your understanding will be much clearer and your understanding will be permanent. Otherwise, you will forget it again and again. So please have the diagram with you. Uh, Draw it. If possible, draw it. And when you will draw the diagram, the things will be permanent in your memory. There are some centering diphthongs. That means being, originating in the center of your vocal tract. Now, the first one, the examples are given centering diphthongs. E, E, not I, E, And the second one, in bracket, I'm talking about the sounds being indicated in the first bracket. The second one is and the third one is oo. They're found in words like, braid and fierce. The starting point is closer than E, as in bit and bin. So this at the beginning there is a discussion about the centering diphthongs. So these centering diphthongs are E, oo. So, and I have already said, not I said, the linguists say, the theorists say that the first vowel, not vowel, the first vowel sound is supposed to be stronger than the second one, the following one. The preceding one is stronger than the following one. And the starting point is closer to E in case of the first one, as you see in bit and bin. Now let's start the examples of diphthongs. And there are 8 diphthongs I have already said, and some are centering diphthongs. The examples I have already given. So that's exactly what you will remember, not more than that. Now let's go to the diphthongs one by one. The first one is E. This is one of the centering diphthongs. I have already said and you can try originating in the center, and you can notice the first part of the diphthong is dominating the second part. This diphthong begins with E and glides to we get it in the words like fears, fears, fears. Now, usually what we do, we say fierce. We say fierce, fierce. Now, even if you pronounce that, even if you pronounce fierce, now just try to pinpoint the pronunciation of the word fierce. Fear, 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 ear, ear. So just look, ear, ear. So fierce, 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 fierce. So this is the example of centering diphthong. You can remember whether it's centering or not, but what is important to know or what is important to remember, the examples of every diphthong. So the first one that we are discussing is and the example of the word is fears, 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 fears. So I hope that you will remember that. Now the second one is a, 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 not e, a. And these, phonetic symbols you will get against the words in all standard dictionaries. This diphthong begins with a and glides to as in words like, just try to pronounce, ear, eared, ear, scare, scare, pear, pear. Don't say pear, pear, pear. So that's not the right pronunciation. And I told you when I taught, monophthongs, that basically the pronunciation of Bangladeshi people or the people of Indian subcontinent or people of any country where English is not the mother tongue or the first language, their pronunciation varies from the pronunciation of the British people and the American people, because our pronunciation of vowel sounds, is not similar to the pronunciation of vowel sounds by the first English speaking people. And that's why the variation occurs. Now, if we follow the structure, if we follow the grammar, then how will you pronounce the words ear, scare, scare? Basically, we say scare, 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 but it's not the way it has to be pronounced. It has to be pronounced as scare, 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 and pair, pair. Now, let's go to the next diphthong, oo, oo, not ewer, oo, oo. So this, is the third one we are discussing. The starting point is little closer to oo as in put. We are talking about monophthong. If you take the example of put, so the position where the sound oo originates, this diphthong ua originates almost in the same place. The glide ends in a. Example of words for this diphthong are tour. We say tour. We say tour. Now, you can easily guess that the pronunciation tour is not right. So, what is the right pronunciation? The right pronunciation is tour, 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 ua, ua. We say moored, moored. We usually say moored. Now, the right pronunciation is moor, 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 moor. It's difficult. Obviously, it's difficult because it's not the way we started practicing pronouncing, English words. So at this stage, in honors third year, it's really tough to follow this pronunciation, but we have to learn the pronunciation. Even if we don't practice this sort of pronunciation in our real life situation, that there is no problem. There are different types of English now in the global world. So if you speak in if you speak in Indian English means the kind of English we speak in, we use in our life, our everyday interaction. So that is Indian English. There can be Latin American English. There can be East Asian English. There are different types of English now in practice across the universe, and nobody will insult you, because what is important in today's world is to communicate. If you can communicate with your pronunciation, then it's fine. But what we have to remember, that we should not mispronounce the words. So we are talking about, we may not follow the accent, we may not follow the stress and unstress issues or factors of pronunciation, but the pronunciation has to be right. So when we say tour, tour, this is basically, it's a wrongly pronounced word. So please, you have to try to remember the exact pronunciation. We are not saying that you have to follow the accent, the stress, unstress issues, flapping, and there are other things as well. We are not suggesting to follow those things, but at least you cannot mispronounce the words. So you have to say tour, tour, not tour. So you have to remember that. It's my honest request to you, because pronouncing the word wrongly is not accepted anywhere in the world. Diphthong next one is AE. AE. Example of words, paid. Just try to pronounce with me. Paid. Paid. AE. Paid. Pain. AE. Pain. AE. Pain. AE. 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 Pain. Pain. Face. 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 So AE. Now you can gaze, you can observe that there are double vowel sounds, there are double monophthongs. So that's exactly what we are learning. We are learning, diphthongs, where we will have double vowel sounds. The starting point is the same as A of gate, saith, meant. The starting point basically we are talking about the place of origin. Over here it originates. This in your vocal tract. Basically, in case of vowel sounds, the air comes from the lungs. And I have said that the pronunciation of consonant sounds, you must have observed by this time that there is a significant difference between the, place of origin, consonant sounds and vowel sounds. Now, let's go to the next one, I-E. I-E. This diphthong begins with an open vowel like E. So how will you know whether it's an open vowel? Ah. You can see the position of my lips and mouth. E. And diagram. I'm talking about the diagram again and again. So what are the examples of these diphthong double vowel sounds? Find. 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 Time. Time. Kind. Again try kind. So it's easy. It's rather easier. Diphthong next one is oi. Oi. This diphthong begins with vowel o. The example words can be taken as boy, 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 oi, boy, toy, coy, etc. Oi, oi, oi. So it's again double vowel sounds. The next one is tough to pronounce. Au, au, au. Very difficult to pronounce. And the starting point is like, ah, as in the word bout. And there are other words, examples of other words are also given. Now, just observe that when we pronounce the word in our style, we say most, we say. But the exact pronunciation, pronunciation of the word is most. So you can observe that how the position of my lips also change, and how much problem I am also facing, because I am not also used to this. I said it clearly. I am not also used to this, and since my lips are not used to this sort of position, that's why it's also difficult for me as well. So, do I ever pronounce words like this? I mean, do I ever pronounce most as most in the classroom? Not usually. Do we ever say home? Home. We usually don't say that. We say home. We say home. Oh, we basically say oh, home, home. But that's basically wrongly pronounced words. So the exact pronunciation is home, home. And when you will watch Hollywood movies, and when you will watch speaking, the British people and the American people, you will definitely observe them. Obviously, you have observed that they use, they pronounce the words most, home, load, not load. They never say load. They say load. And if you play the video game, you will see they say reload, reload. So you can gaze that how what's about the exact pronunciation of the words, and we basically mispronounce these words, and that's what I am saying, that we are not supposed to pronounce a word in a wrong way. We may ignore the accent, but I'm not saying that you will ignore the accent. If you can follow, it's fine. If you can follow the accent, it's fine. If you can follow the flapping style, even if it's fine. Flapping, I mean time. So that's what I was saying. So you can do that. It's always appreciated. But it's what I'm saying, what I'm trying to share with you, that it's difficult. But what we are not supposed to do, we cannot pronounce a word in a wrong way. Now let's go to the next one. Diphthong AU, AU, AU. The starting sound is like a, and glides from close to mid-open. Follow the diagram. Examples of words are house, au, loud, loud, gown, etc. So from the above discussion, we understand that understanding diphthongs can help us perceive English sounds clearly. Diphthongs are important for clear pronunciation and perception. So what's the importance of diphthongs? To pronounce the words in a right way, in the correct way. So that is why diphthongs are also important. So what is monophthong? Single vowel sound. What is diphthong? Double vowel sounds. What about the diphthongs? There are 8 diphthongs. And what about the diphthongs? The first vowel sound is basically more prominent than the second one. So you have to remember these diphthongs the way you remember, monophthongs. And I hope that you will attend my next classes on linguistics as well. So for today, I would like to say goodbye. Stay safe and stay at home. Thank you very much.